Now it's being recorded. So again, now you're on record, so keep in mind that anything you do poorly will go to the office as a recorded thing and sent to your parents with a timestamp to read. Now, again, we've already talked about you're gonna be hired by a local company. Your job is to come up with a 9-hole mini golf course to get their attention, and he thinks the different shapes. So here are the requirements for your project. It's all here. Yours is not blue. I have mine here in blue. Okay, so I'm gonna scroll down just a little bit. I've got to go really slow to get this to work. Okay, here are your requirements that you have to do. This is kind of like the beginning of your rubric. Okay, the rubric I showed you yesterday, it's like the bullet points I gave you last time. This better have everything. It's a good use of your paper, right? I want to read it. Think notes to yourself. Okay, first things first, you must create a 9-hole golf course. Now I changed one thing, so if you'll go in and erase the word squares, we're not doing square holes. Those are holes. And you can cross out the word squares. I took that off the list. Okay, you need to create a 9-hole golf course using various shapes: rectangles, parallelograms, trapezoids, triangles, and irregular shapes.
Isn't the square parallelogram?
It is, and so is a rectangle. But I just don't need a square hole. Is that really interesting?
No.
Not really. So I'm not really gonna have you do that, okay? So you're gonna design a hole that fits around the central theme. So I have a couple of options, and if you'll look, I actually have a topic page for this. A separate topic page for this project. Okay, I took last year's projects. That's what I have right here in the corner. And they have their different themes. Like this group chose sports themes. Another group chose under the sea. So they just used the maze shapes that you'd find under the sea. Okay, don't sing. This one says holes in home. It wasn't their best paper. I'll be admit that one wasn't great. I told them that was a horrible cover sheet. I told them space mini golf, galactic golf, galactic mini golf. They came up with a fun title. I mean, Fatty Pattyville. That was Eleanor. Fatty Pattyville. So everything fits off of Fatty Patty. That was their study buddy last year. If it makes you feel better.
Yeah. Who was Fatty Patty?
That's Fatty Pattyville.
Is there a girl named Patty?
Fatty Patty, like burgers.
Oh, I had a feeling, but I didn't think it.
Yeah. That's, I mean, they have their mascot of Fatty Patty, but it was based off burgers, actually. She called it Fatty Patty, but everything was based off of burgers. She's got cheese, she's got bun, she's got.
Underwood.
All right, then you got Sweet Treats Golf. Everything had to do with some kind of sweets, all the shapes. You can look at these a little bit. And then we have this one, Project Stardust. It was all actually was Star Wars based.
Was it good?
They did.
I am your
There's
father.
all you see the different things. They apparently all four of them really like Star Wars.
I'm the maker.
So they made all the different Star Wars ships and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
And they
I don't have
based off that. Okay.
You have to put.
They don't, yeah, I'm not worried about your skills, but theirs was very intricate.
So I need someone.
So I don't worry about your skills of drawing. I mean, you're doing shapes, triangles, rectangles. It's not like I'm asking you guys to be creative. Okay, I'll show you more. And I have pictures. I took pictures of different parts of their projects and posted them on the topic page. Okay, so you can kind of see what they look like and help you think about your ideas. Okay, so here are the different holes. To vary the difficulty of the hole, you must provide different shapes. I need at least one shape shaped as a rectangle. Now you can have fun with that rectangle. You can put, like, I don't know how many of you have ever been to a mini golf course. Sometimes they have like obstacles in the ways you have to aim around or things like that. You're welcome to do that in these shapes as well. You gotta keep that in mind for your area though. So keep that in mind a little bit. A hole shaped like a parallelogram, a trapezoid, a triangle. Okay, and you can have multiple triangles as well stacked together. A lot of theirs are multiple triangle problems. And then I need one set of irregular shapes or complex shapes with 2 shapes, and 2 sets with 3 or more shapes. Now you can have 2 or more or 3 or more. You can have as many as you want. Okay, but I need 4 holes, one with at least 2 shapes, one with at least 3 shapes. Could you? And if you look at Project Stardust, just to throw this one out to the one on top, most of theirs, a lot of theirs had multiple shapes. They also did have rectangles in different pieces here and there, but they didn't also get more credit. Their thing, didn't have enough just rectangle chips. Okay, they didn't have these four very well done. So they lost some points for that, because they didn't do that, they didn't have the right shape. They had all complex shapes, which is really cool, don't get me wrong. But if you look at the difference at Sweet Treats, I'll pull it up and show it to you. They have the rectangle. They have the parallelogram. They have their trapezoid. They use their coloring, they use their design to create their different shapes, like a pack of Starburst, chocolate bar. I think that was a brownie or a cupcake, I can't remember. I can't remember, they told me. And then they have their multiple shapes here, like that, okay? So it just gives you an idea. Now, you must provide me the dimensions in feet for all 9 holes. Okay? You must provide the total area covered with turf. So for example, if I've taken my kids to Power Mini Golf. I'm looking at green turf they put on it. Now yours obviously different colors, like Sweet Treats have different color turf. That turf is how much area I need. If you have a river that runs through it, is that turf?
No.
So you have to cut that out. So you could use your subtraction a little bit on that. If you put a little barrier up there, would you have to take that out of your area? Again, think about that. So if you do a rectangle hole, that'd be awesome. It's boring. Right? What if you put in a couple triangle obstacles or some kind of shape or have water go through it and they have to go through it? Anything covered in turf had to be marked for area. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Keep your total area between 600 and 800 square feet. Last year, they almost all had to redo their project. Because most of them built theirs with only 200 square feet. 200 to 400 square feet. You have 800 square feet to use. Why would you only use half that? Or even less than that. A lot of the kids only had 200 square feet. They're small. This room is smaller than 200 square feet.
Wait, or no?
No, not each hole, totally.
Oh, so.
Okay, so you want to use, if you're going to a mini golf course, do you want to see most of the mini golf holes and then some path? They made it really small, like 3 feet by 8 feet. And it's only 24 square feet, right? If you do that 9 times, that's about 200 square feet.
Yeah.
You need to make it bigger. Okay? So I changed the requirement this year. You have to get between 600 and 800 feet. That's gonna be your number. You can be as low as 600, you can go as much as 800, and I'll even be kind. I'll give you 5% variance either way. You should, if you can't figure out what 5% is, good luck on your time. We did 5%. We know how to find 5% of numbers. You know how to do this. You even have a calculator. Now, so I will be kind enough to give you a 5% error either way. Bigger or smaller. Anything past that, I'm starting to take points.
Okay.
I think that's fair. So if you make it a little too big or a little too small, I'll make it work, but I'm giving you a little bit of an error. You must make the dimensions of the course realistic. A 2 by 1 foot is not a realistic size for a mini golf course. Okay? Now, the other thing, this is not in there, but if you're gonna draw these shapes, you have to have a scale that works. So I'm gonna go back to Sweet Treats for a second, just because I happen to have this. Each box should mean the same amount. You're gonna be creating these on a piece of graph paper.
Okay.
You can draw 1 per graph paper, you can draw 3 per graph paper, it's up to you. Project Stardust drew them really tiny, and it was hard to read theirs. I'm just warning you, they did a great job. They didn't do poorly on their project, understand. They just lost points here and there because of some of the stuff they had to keep in mind. And we already had this conversation, I asked for permission to use their information, so I can talk about it. But you can see this hole is 10 feet tall. That's still even a little bit short for a mini golf course, to be fair. Okay, but you have to have, you also need to draw it to scale. If you have something 10 feet long and something 6 feet wide, should they be the same size?
No.
No. So using your boxes, you want to create a scale on the bottom of your paper. This is new. I'm adding this to your project this year. Okay? So each box should stand for, you could make each box stand for 1 foot. Or each box stand for 6 inches. Okay? So that when you draw it, you drew it to scale. Okay? That also makes it much easier when you do your dimensions on the paper. You can see how they mark their dimensions. You'll see, I know you can't see it as easily, Jackson, but when you're back in class, you can see it, okay? I'm not picking on this, Savannah's and Ivy's was very good, by the way, that's kind of why I'm using it. Well, several others were good. Theirs is just the easiest to read and it's really well decorated. You'll all agree with that. If you've ever met Savannah or Ivy, you'll see why. You know why. Okay, you can see what they've done. So, provide a name for your golf course that's catchy, hence Patty Pattyville, Project Stardust, Sweet Treats Golf, Galactic Golf, Galactic Mini Golf. And you probably ought to have the front. You need to have some kind of cover sheet. You gotta get their attention, right? If I flip through this, they're gonna, oh, that's like, sorry, I'm gonna pick on these two girls. Yeah, they don't have their name on it. Would that grab my attention if I'm the owner? Would you even bother looking at this project?
No.
All right, and especially if I put it against
The Star Wars.
the Stardust, yeah. Which one's gonna get your attention?
Probably
Probably, even if you don't like Star Wars, this one sounds better and looks better than that.
Oh.
Now, again, I am not judging your ability to draw. If you want to make it on and with clip art, more power to you. I can't draw. I did ask them to draw it last year. This year, if you want to use a little bit of outside creativity, that's perfectly fine. You could even draw it on your own. They did have a hard time doing the drawings on an iPad last year. Several of them tried to do it on an iPad and use an Apple Pencil. They had a really hard time getting the shapes to be the right shape, and they had a hard time drawing it neatly. If you want to give it a shot this year, feel free. But they did try last year, and they had a little bit of a struggle. So it's not insurmountable, they just couldn't figure it out. Okay? And then, of course, your blueprint should be free of any mathematical errors. That makes perfect sense, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
You're turning something in, you're trying to sell, this is the product. You don't want to show, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's make a math error. Right? Okay, so those are the requirements for the project. 9 holes, 1 shaped like a rectangle, 1 like a parallelogram, 2 like trapezoids, 1 like a triangle, and then 4 complex shapes. Okay? The project will be graded on the rubric that you see on the next page. So turn the page. This is how you're going to be graded. Okay? And I have it even more broken out than last time. Like last one, I gave you the rubric and I had multiple steps in each box. I think that's what messed some of you up. Think about the other rubric I showed you. Remember how there were multiple things in each box? I think some of you missed them because you only read one part. So this time, I made it as simple as I can. Every single line is blocked out. Every single requirement is in there. All 9 shapes have necessary dimensions. Yes or no? Out of 5 points. All your basic shapes are out of 3 points. Your complex shapes are out of 4 points each. Makes sense? So far, obviously complex is more difficult. All right, total holes between 6 and 800. Okay. 2, if you have that answer, as long as you're within that 200 square feet, you're good. If you're over by 5%, you're going to drop to a 1. If you're way over or way under, you're at a 0. If you give me an unrealistic hole size, like the entire golf course is on 200 square feet, that's a 0. You're not going to get any points for that. Not for the entire project. Well, if it's too big, it's the same idea, right? You only have 800 square feet to work with. But you don't have to worry about a 10 by 10. But you don't have to worry about the path. You don't have to worry about the paths and the building where the walls are kept and stuff. You don't have, all you're worrying about is the turf being 600 to 800 square feet. Yes, that helps.
Yes.
Okay. All your images are neat. You use the ruler or grid paper. I have grid paper for you. I have the graph paper. It's sitting there in front of L/Avid. Your dimensions are realistic. Your golf course name suggested if you have your golf course name suggestion, and that's probably on your front page. And the golf course is colorful and all holes fit my feet. You'll notice they all drew in color. Okay? Doesn't color make a big difference whether you pick something or not?
Yes.
Okay? So that's the rubric, and everything's broken out piece by piece. You're going to turn this paper in, and you turn in your project. Each individual person whether it's L, Avonlea, or Insha, and say they're one group, they all turn in one of these with their project. Okay, that's how I'll give you a grade. Most likely, you'll all have the exact same grade for the project. Okay? But I'm gonna give it back individually. Okay?
But everyone has to make.
No, you're working as a group, so they're one group, they're only gonna turn in one golf course. Right? Makes sense. So are they all three gonna get the same grade? Yeah, because they turn in the same one. Okay, it's not like you're each turning in one that has 9 holes on it. If you wanna work on your own and do all 9 holes, go for it, good luck in a week. I mean, you're gonna have definite outside of class time. I've given you some project workspace. You don't have to use this completely, but this is one thing that would be helpful for you to use to show all your work in one spot. This is where you do the area work. Okay, and it's all right there. If you turn the page, it's on the next page. You only need to turn in one of those per team. Each, so again, we'll go back to our 3 right here. L doesn't have to turn a different one in an inch and then Avonlea. 1 for the group is all I need. Okay, you can all use the paper and project. I'll even print extra ones for you if you want to do it scratch work and then turn in a final one that looks really neat. Okay, it's up to you. Or you could do scratch work on 2 of them and the third person, you use their main paper to turn in. Okay. Here's what I mean about examples. I already shown you the class examples. Let me pull up a couple more to give you a little different view. And again, I put this on the topic page. So I'm going to show you what it looks like on the topic page. This is where I've got better information. There's the topic right there, there's the project. There's the outline that I just gave you. There's papers of the graph paper. There's some project example number 1 that came with the group, with the project. These are the ones the kids gave me. I took pictures of different ones. And I showed you all of these in class. These are all their theme examples. This is an example of someone drawing.
Tennis racket.
This was from the sports one, obviously, right? And you can tell it's a tennis racket. And they've got all, see how they have all their dimensions? This was one of their complex shapes, because they use trapezoid, 2 trapezoids and a rectangle.
Oh.
Because they cut that,
Oh, I see it, yeah.
actually, yeah, it's actually had 3 trapezoids. 1 trapezoid, and a rectangle, and a rectangle. This was one of their complex shapes.
Oh.
Because it has to do the math on this one, it requires, because you don't know how to find the area of a pentagon. Or not a pentagon, an octagon, thank you. So they said, oh wait, I can take an octagon and split it into 2 trapezoids and a rectangle in the middle. So they can still do that, whatever shape they wanted to. Okay?
What about the W?
So
would that be?
that's still turf, they just had a red turf.
Okay.
So everything inside them, that was all turf, they just use different colors. You don't have to go, you don't tell me like, I need this much green turf, this much red turf. I'm okay without that. They considered everything in that shape turf. They just had white turf, they had red turf, they had black turf, they had the hole you can see at the very top.
Yeah.
And the black bracket turf. Okay,
Oh, that's the whole?
yeah, that's the whole right there.
Oh, wait, that's a minus the.
No, you don't know how to do no, don't worry about it. Because you don't know how to do area of a circle. So you can leave that as part of your set. Because technically, you probably just cut it out later, so you can still divide it. Alright, 1 second. So this is another example, this is the Galactic Golf one.
Stop.
Okay. This was from the home one, I think. They did a really nice job on the color.
What is it?
I don't remember.
It could be rug. Bowl.
I don't remember what it was.
A bowl.
I know he did it.
It
And
might
it's
be.
really well drawn.
It's a bowl.
You turn hole in your home.
They didn't label what it was.
It's a bowl.
That's Callie's.
Can be a. Is that bowl? It's a. It can be like a rug.
Maybe it's not Callie's.
Right, it's a bowl.
Must be a different one. But that was from under, that was under the seat, actually. It was. It looks like that's the pool.
Oh,
Oh no, it's a buoy. That's what it was.
I thought it was overflowing. It's overflowing.
They just threw it in the ocean. Alright. It's right there. Sometimes they're hard to see. Now, again, you can learn from there to what you're saying. Hey, maybe I make sure I see what scene when I'm doing it. This is from Pattyville.
What is that?
The bun and something brown meat, I would assume, yeah.
What is that? Peanut butter.
Was that the?
Alright, this is from the sweet treats. There's the chocolate, the cupcake, and the starburst I showed you already. This is that galactic one, that was Project Stardust. You see how that was kind of hard to read?
Period dress.
They did a really neat job, like all of their things are awesome. They just drew them too small. And they don't have anything well listed. They don't have any of the dimensions
They
listed
don't
on
have
there.
their own either.
I know.
I
Again,
didn't even see the whole ones.
again, I know. So guess, and that's part of the conversation we had. I said, y'all, that's awesomely creative. But you didn't follow directions. So don't get so wrapped up in your creativity that you don't follow directions. And then it goes back to the beginning. The company also comes with its own, this also has. Let me get the right file. It also has this example. You want to see, and I post this online. This is what they said an example might look like. They use ocean theme. Sharks, fish, beach. Okay. So again, they have their map and that shows everything that works. Make sense?
Yes.
So, and then they have it marked here, and then that area with all that map would go somewhere else. Okay, so there are gonna be different project milestones throughout the class. Okay, throughout the day, throughout the lessons, we're gonna have different project milestones I need turned in that day. Okay, and it's gonna be simple and pretty easy. The first project milestone is I need your groups and your theme. You can't design anything without a theme. You can't start Thank you. You can't start, coming up with any whole designs until you have a theme. So the goal today, by the end of class, is I want your theme come up with, and I want a list of possible ideas for the holes. You don't have to draw them yet. You can start sketching them if you want to. But you have to show, you want to start the idea behind it. Okay, I'm gonna do Chick-fil-A theme. I don't know. I'm just making things. I don't know. You could do Spartan theme. You can do whatever you want. You come up with a unique theme. Please do not steal all their themes. I understand there's only a certain amount of themes you can come up with. Okay, but come up with a new name. I don't want to see Sweet Treats Golf or Project Stardust as your theme. Okay, if you want to do Star Wars or you want to do treats or sweets, that's fine. Be more creative on your theme. Okay, have a different name. Is that fair? I do understand they have a couple of ideas. So today your goal is that. Starting on Friday, which you don't have me tomorrow, Friday, I want to start seeing rough drafts of at least 3 different holes. By end of class Monday, I need to see at least 6 holes. End of class Tuesday, I need to see I need all 9. Now, part of your rough draft is also the math that goes with it. By block day, the end of block day, which is next Wednesday, you're done and it's turned in. Okay, so you will have the rest of today, which is about an hour, a little under an hour, about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, to work on your theme and start coming up with whole designs. Doesn't mean you can't go on and start, if you've got a theme, you know what you want to do, and you've got your groups and everything is done, can you start designing your holes now?
Yeah.
Yes, it's perfectly fine to get a head start. Okay? But I need these milestones so that I can say, okay, I know the project's gonna be done in time. Theme and title today, and name of your golf course and your groups today. Friday, 3 holes. Monday, 6 holes. Tuesday, all 9 holes created and the map done. Okay. Final bit, putting it all together, making it look nice, creating your front page, checking the math, all that good stuff again. Maybe even creating a final draft of your holes. A lot of them drew their hole once and then redrew it again, so it looks neater as a final draft training project. Okay. If you want to sketch them on that, and then you want to do 1 per hole, that you decide you want to put more together, like they did, a lot of them put 3 on 1 hole, you can do that. You decide. Okay, well, those are my project milestones. Some of you did awesome on setting up your project information. When you did your work, you had it all done. Some of you didn't turn in a brochure. I had 3 people not turn in a brochure. Or the poster, in your case, the poster. I had 3 people just not give me one. All they gave me was the sheet and said their final that's the project. That's not being funny. That's like they lost, they failed. That's a test grade. I mean, that's not a good thing. So I'm having that idea. So I'm having those milestones so that I can check you. Okay, so I can say, okay, they should be able to get a good grade on this. Does that make sense? I want you guys to, I mean, it's a test grade. It counts as much as the test you took yesterday. You got a week to do it and you have partners. Okay? If you want to work by yourself, that's fine. That's a lot of work. To do 9 holes, all that stuff, all by yourself in less than a week. I'm not saying you can't. The max group size is 3. Because once you get past 3, there's not enough work to go around. Okay? Especially in the time frame I'm giving you. Okay? No, it's a 9 hours.
No.
Okay? So, any questions before I go on and start letting you talk about groups? And if I let you pick your groups, or I decide to pick your groups, I haven't decided yet, I'm still thinking.
Can I go to the back? No. Yes, please.
If we start groups without you, good luck. I'd hurry.
If-
I'd hurry. Alright. So. That makes sense. Any other questions about the project? Do we know what we're asked for?
Yes.
Do we understand all the pieces?
Yes.
Okay, if you want to look through some of their designs, you're welcome to. I'll keep these out for today and tomorrow. I don't want to keep them out much past that. Because I don't want you to like use them to decide your design.
Yeah.
I want you to be more creative on, I want you to be creative on your, now, do I understand there might be some overlap? Yes. But at the same time, I'd like to see what I get. Okay? All of them turned them in via paper last year. You can put them and take pictures and put it on slideshow if you want. But paper is perfectly fine. Okay. Does that make sense? Everybody good? Jackson, are you good? So Jackson, you'll need to unmute because you'll need to come up with a group today as well. And once that happens, what I'll do for that is I'll take Jackson, whatever group Jackson chooses to be in. And if you sync while during this project, you obviously have to sync. You will be on sync, and then all 4 of your group or all 2 others of your group members or 1 other person will join sync with you so you can talk individually. And I'll turn off the D10 so we don't have everybody hear your conversation. Okay? So like if Joshua sings on Friday and he chooses to pair with Porter and Jackson, they all get on sync and they talk. Okay? You might be able to be on one sync device because sometimes you get feedback if your iPads are too close to each other. So if you just have, say, Joshua here in the middle of the table and you're making sure you converse between the 3 of you, that would work. Okay? Does that make sense? So if you do choose to sync, it's perfectly fine. Be sure you have all the materials you will need. They're all on the topic page. So if you need to I've already given you the paper that has the instructions on it. I have tons and tons. I made 50 pages worth of graphic. To start. Well, if you need more, that's fine. If you need less, that's fine too. I'll use it next year. I have 2 classes that are going to use this. If each person takes 1 page, that's 40. That's not completely off the line. If you choose to be at home and you need to get some, it's on the topic page. Everything's there you need. Okay, so that makes sense, kind of how we look at it. Everything is listed on the topic page down below. Okay, there it is. If you win.
Next
At the
Wednesday.
end of class. At the end of class, can you work at home?
Yes.
Yes, if you feel like your group is behind, and if you are behind, I will tell you must work at home. So for example, say, let me just pick on Joe, Frankie, and Sally, right here, they're sitting right here, they're invisible. Or maybe they're your homework helpers or whatever, they're all sitting right here in the corner. They were just talking and goofing off during class. Hey, I'll talk to you at least once or twice. If I have to hit you a 3rd time, I think that's an infraction for off-task behavior. But if they did absolutely nothing in class, and like I say, now you have homework. You owe me your 3 designs by Monday. If your group does not come in Monday, then you're looking at a test grade failure. Okay? Those milestones are for credit. So when I say you have to tell me your theme in your group by today, that's worth 10 points. It's a homework assignment. If you all you gotta do is tell me those in right, put it on a piece of paper, turn it into me, and you get 10 points. It's simple. Tuesday or Friday, you just gotta show me those 3 designs with the math included. Good to go. You don't have to turn them in on paper. I don't want them. I just want to see them. Same with Monday. Same with Monday. You show me all 6. I've already seen 3. Show me the 6 total. Make sure you don't lose them. Because if you lose, we gotta start again. Tuesday, all 9 shown to me in rough form. They don't have to be colored. They don't have to be beautiful. They just have to be done. And then the last day, you're turning in that paper. If it's not here, you lose 10% automatically. So your best grade you're getting on this test is a 90. And that the entire product is perfect.
Has anyone gotten 100?
Oh, yeah. Several of those groups got 100. They did a great job. You can talk to the 7th graders. I think they like the project that we did.
Okay.
They seem to have fun. And they had the same amount of time you did 1 week. Okay? All right, does that make sense?
Yep.
Good to go? All right, so here's what I'll do. I will give you a chance to pick your own groups. If there's any fighting or arguing, I will stop it. I will reorganize every group with a random number generator.
Oh.
Fair enough. That way no one gets to have any say in their group except some random number generator.
That's
Does that sound good?
That's
If you can do it on your own, you're good to go. If you cannot, I will help and no one will input. Because I will specifically not put people together. All right,
We're not even.
you can be together. You're fine. You guys work well. You just talk a lot. So, all right, pick your groups. Don't forget Jackson. He needs to be part of it, so think about him.
I'm Jackson.
The problem is the 4 of you can't remember. You have to split into 2 separate groups, or you can join other groups.
You're too short, Jonah. I can't see you.
Oh, yeah. We can, okay, so that, I would think, we get their shields, their swords.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
All right. Sue? Jackson, Jonah said he's your partner. True? All right, he's coming on Zoom and I'll turn off the D10 in just a second, once he joins us, okay? I'm gonna turn off the recording, because I will post this recording to the top of the page. So y'all can see it.
No, listen, you know right here, it says.
In the top drawer, sir.
Grade minus challenge.
The
But yeah,
purple door?